average hit dice is a D. D12.
Hey, welcome back. So this is just for posterity. This is just we're just gonna level up on recording. So this is obviously level 4. Everybody gets an ability score improvement. What that basically means is out of the 6 ability scores that you have, you can add 1 to 2 of the scores, or add 2 to 1 of the scores. So Kepesk is going to add 2 to his strength score, taking it from 14 to 16, making his modifier +2 to +3. So that's good for strength-based weapons, for rage-based weapons. He gets the rage damage bonus, etc., etc., while still retaining a high armor class from his dexterity, because he can dodge. Simon is taking the observant feat, because that's an optional rule. Is instead of taking an ability score improvement, you can take a feat. And that one basically makes it so that he has a +5 to his passive perception, which basically means that, if somebody's sneaking up on him, he'll spot him more easily. It also increases his wisdom by 1, and he can read lips. Orion, I believe you're just adding 2 to wisdom?
Yes.
Alright, so that'll take his to +20. Argon is doing... who cares? Alright, so... I'm gonna start alphabetically with Barbarian. What?
Always last.
Yes.
So with W, I would have reclassed into a bard.
Whoa.
Anyway, okay. Sorry for that brief interruption. So at this level, you get an ability score improvement. You don't get an extra rage, and you don't get a rage damage bonus. I'm sorry, I was wrong.
You lied to me.
No, I don't think you get anything else. But
my health
hit points, yes.
Okay, so it's 6 + 1 is my average, right?
6. So yeah, 7 plus what's your constitution is 3, right?
Yeah.
So you can take just a straight 10 hit points, or you can roll and add your constitution.
I'll take a straight 10.
Straight 10. All right, what are you at now?
45.
45. Simon, same for you. The best option for you would be the average +1, because you're less because you can only gain at maximum 2 more hit points than you would have normally.
Alright, so what am I taking?
You'd be taking 4 plus what's your constitution? 3?
Yeah, 4.
4?
8. Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, so you'd be taking 8 more hit points, and then your constitution modifier is 1, and your hit dice is a d8. So you can either take 6, or you can roll a d8 and add 1.
I've had good luck whenever I've rolled a d8 for Harlow. But
that was Harlow.
That was Harlow.
Harlow has
And
She was
less.
pretty... You would add 1. You can either...
no, 1 hit dice, but then...
What?
plus your constitution modifier.
Yeah.
Oh.
Your hit dice is a d8,
Yes.
so you can either roll that and add 1, which is your constitution,
Yeah, I'll do that.
or you can take the average +1 plus your constitution.
What's the average?
The average is 4, +1 is 5, plus constitution is 6. So you can take a straight 6, or you can roll a d8 and add 1.
3!
Yeah, statistically speaking, it's worse.
Yeah, I've realized this over
Yeah.
Leviticus and Kepesk.
It's okay.
I
That happens.
How bad I
I
am
got
when it
very
comes to
lucky.
dares.
Well, we didn't dare you. It was completely in your
Just
court.
gotta roll
This is consensual.
Rolling that 20 or you're dumb.
So what's everybody at?
I'm at 45.
23.
23.
34. I shouldn't have more health than you. I'm the wizard.
23. Oh God.
Ooh.
Well,
if
yeah,
I known it was
you
so low.
have a constitution of 1.
I'm just saying I'm at the health right now at level 4 that I was at level 8 as Leviticus.
Yeah. All right, but you only got 2 hit points less than you could have.
Yeah,
It's just as long as it doesn't stack up continuously.
Yeah.
Which can happen when you roll. So, not the worst loss, but
you get to
anyway.
be my
It's like when you
age.
touch Simon, he hardens.
Hardens? Oh no! If you touch the boy, he hardens. It's great to watch.
Great to watch. Oh no.
Alright, so you don't get anything else, I believe. Let me check. Okay. Up next is Cleric. Alright, at this level, you gain a third second level spell slot. And so you now have 4 first level and 3 second. Same for you, Simon. You gain a 3rd second. I believe that's it.
Sick. Oh, good. Wait, I get another spell slot?
Yes.
And do I learn anything else?
You.
'Cause
Yes.
I don't even have that many 6th level spells.
Yeah. So at this level, you know 2 more spells and can prepare 1 more.
Cool.
Very. So you can pick your spells,
Oh,
but
jeez.
whatever. What we're gonna do here is I think we've all basically leveled up. We're good.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their hit points. Everybody's got their ability score
Yeah,
improvements.
yours.
Now make sure to change your modifiers. Your spell attack modifier and your save DC both increase by 1 since you maxed out your wisdom. So that'll be good. So what's your DC now? 15. So that happens for you.
What am I getting?
Nothing that you need to write down now that I think about it.
Nice.
So now it's I'm just gonna say this. So now whenever you rage, you're obviously better off doing strength-based attacks instead of dex, because on top of being able to add the damage bonus to your rage, which I believe right now is 2. Let me check it again. It's 2 right now. So whatever damage you deal is +2, and you can do reckless attacks, which means that you can give yourself advantage on all of your attacks until the end of your next turn for free, but all attacks against you have advantage.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like, if somebody is like, bitch, then you can be like, rah, reckless attack, yah. And then you have advantage on both of those attacks. And then until the start of your next turn, everybody has advantage against you.
Okay.
So, very, very powerful, but you have to be pretty careful with it. That's it. Yep.
It's not fair.
Sorry.
Alright, so we've determined everything. Everything is good.
Simon is like 8 and he's already better than me.
Oh, hold on, I'm working.
So now you gain like so much more from raging on top of the electricity and the massive resistances. That's immediately the first thing that you ever want to do, really. All right, that is all that's going to be happening right now. We will be rejoining the action. When we last left off,
Wait.
yeah, I'm gonna say this and we're gonna pause.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So when we last left off, a gnomish individual by the name of Gerald Swifthand shop exploded exactly when you guys happened to be in the middle of town. Way to go for that one. It would have been very different had you been in like the 7-stringed or something like that. You just would have heard like a distant explosion.
I thought you would have, when you were setting that up, I thought it was going to be like, oh, very conveniently, like, just as we walk by a house, like, it explodes.
And we
So now
die.
we-
End of
If you
campaign.
had been like, all right, let's go get the Philobelitis, and you had been walking out, you would have been caught in the explosion. It would have been great.
Dude,
It would have been really
hell
funny. So basically, the house exploded. Gerald Swifthand talked with the party, and you guys discussed various really brilliant feats of mechanical engineering.
Crossbow. Firing crossbow that fires as you fire the firing crossbow.
The funny thing is, it could work.
Yeah, potentially.
And the funnier thing is that the first idea was actually really good, because like that would be a brilliant siege arrow where it embed itself, and then once it's in like as far as it could possibly, because
Fire.
normally it would be like surface impact immediately, but that would be like penetration,
Just like
double structural
put a
damage.
spike on the second crossbow that you're firing out of the first crossbow, so then it sticks and then
Brilliant.
it fires.
It'd be neat.
So
I
then
mean,
she's like, and then it fires.
yeah, but what you actually designed would be considered siege weapon, which deals double damage to structures,
Hey.
which would be pretty cool. So, like, if you deal 30 damage, it doubles to 60
That's
to a
pretty
wall.
great.
So if you deal 60 damage to most walls, that's gonna put a hole in it, which is pretty cool. Anyway,
Anyway,
So they talked with
just
him,
a
got-
inventive genius here.
got a double crossbow titled the Double Cross, obviously.
That's pretty cool.
it was revealed that
Just fires a blade.
Argon was seemingly subjected to truth-revealing magic, and said that his name was
But then he said he didn't.
Aravik.
Aardvark.
Aardvark.
Arthur.
Hard
He
to
said
say.
that there was some question as to loyalties, etc., and you guys asked for directions, and then eventually headed out to go find where the Philobelitis was to complete the quest for Emilio Romanitus, to hopefully be able to talk to him in his high wizardy tower of wizardiness. We rejoin us now as we are waking up the following morning. Well, actually, if I could just go ahead and... Who wanted to take first watch?
Are we sleeping?
Yeah.
I wanted to have a talk.
Well, okay. We rejoin us now as we're about to sleep. We will now take a brief break, get some refreshments, and be back in a moment. Thank you. Alright, now that we have successfully leveled up and everything is good, we rejoin us now as Kepesk takes Simon's hand. And...
Stop! No! He actually looked
Oh
like-
no!
Ah!
No! Oh. Hot.
Okay.
Cannon. Cannon.
Gooby kiss big guy. Oh.
Ew,
Oh.
no.
Did you just lick her teeth?
I licked her chin.
Oh, that's
like the in between. Right?
Oh. Alright. Anyway. The fear in your eyes. Alright. So, serious. It's big bad. Sad. Be
Big
sad. Sad.
Biggie.
Alright. As you guys, in silence, made your way to the empty spot where you are, I was about to be like, Argon, take the floor, and then I remembered, oh wait, he's an NPC, and I am the dungeon master. Yay.
Yeah.
As you take a seat around the fire, the embers crackling warmly in the dark.
Let's play a game. Truth or dare? As I'm staring right at Argon.
Okay, so we'll play 20 questions. Do you like anybody? Is it me?
Question number 2. Are you dating anybody? Do you have a crush on anybody? It's me, isn't it?
Kepesk just like strips immediately.
Oh god. Alright,
Doesn't
so...
understand. That's not what
As
that
you
game has to do.
take a seat around the fire, for purposes of ease, of similar position to this with the fire in the middle.
I'll
He
take.
sits there.
Oh,
Take
me
me.
actually. Okay. Didn't you?
So it's a campfire. Maybe we should swap stories.
Sure, mister, I don't want to tell stories.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Huh?
So why'd they call you Just Simon?
What do you mean?
Just Simon. We don't know your last name.
Don't give it out to strangers.
We're not
Oh, so
strangers
you're
anymore.
pestering us for not giving out our names.
Am I
to
very
strangers?
strange to you?
Yes. Look, we all know nothing about each other. I think it's high time we sat down and learned something.
That's what I'm attempting. I think it's not working. Let's take a step back here. Those... Okay. Are you hungry? Like give me some...
Does he cough something up?
Yes, I puke up like
the spider from
lamb
2 days
eye.
ago.
Oh,
Just
the part of the skull
Skitters
from the
away.
lamb.
Oh,
from
no.
The sheep.
some bone fragments hit the ground. Well, that was interesting. All right.
Learning already. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Who wants to start?
you remember. Well, now I don't wanna. I'm feeling like the pressure's on. This is kind of weird.
It's alright. It is.
Look.
I was having a nice time. This was cool. So.
Question number 1. How many of us has killed anyone?
Do you
Well,
think?
no.
Sorry.
You-
This
you-
is going well.
y-
This
yes.
is going really good.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm feeling a deep connection to all of you.
For the sake of posterity, Orion, you have truth.
I'm feeling targeted.
No,
I'm just kidding.
you,
What? Orion the Cervitaur.
This is going great.
you have truth revealing magic, do you not?
Yeah.
I think it's best. Fire stopped. Oh, it's back. Okay.
It does
I
that.
feel like
Sorry.
If we are going to be honest with each other, we should just be straight up honest.
But we've proven to one another that we can't do that. I really think that.
How dysfunctional has this family become?
This house
is
a nightmare.
Right.
I leave it to you. I will tell the truth. I think you've earned that, at the very least.
Okay. If you guys aren't comfortable with it, we don't have to do the ritual.
Well, no, now you brought it up.
You all look really delicious.
Those creamy hamstrings.
Orion's just
Orion.
gonna like. Just move back slightly.
You don't? You do not.
No, I don't cast.
Okay.
Because I trust each other.
I respect that. Well,
What's your favorite color?
red.
What about you?
Hey, that's the same thing you said before. So now we know it's the truth.
That was true.
What's your favorite color?
Blue. I guess. I
Boy,
don't
these
think
are.
about
This is some
colors.
weird sounding fire.
You're the one that made it.
Alright. You find what you can. Sometimes it's some random sound effects. You know, it's just some dot waves that are just floating around. This is what happens when you browse the internet.
Alright. Argan, what's your real name?
Let's go back.
He doesn't know.
What? No,
So you lied?
You're beginning to,
True.
yes, you're beginning to catch on.
True.
I
Oh.
said something that would sound cool. It really did. I kind of nailed it. But anyway,
What is it, like? Gertrude? Or something?
Gertrude.
all right.
I'm
No.
sorry if that's your actual name. I would feel sorry.
I would feel worse if that were my name. That's terrible. Anyway. Anybody taking watch? There's some wolves. I
We're
could take a
all
look at
awake
that.
right
Guys,
now.
let's talk.
Alright. Anybody want any food? For sure. Okay.
I
Yes.
want
alright.
some food
The
of
spell,
love.
please.
Fine. I'll
No,
do it.
no.
I'll
Do it,
I'll
please.
it.
Alright,
I'll
I
do it.
wasn't
I'll do
wasn't
it.
lying.
I'll do it.
Kepesk
All right.
slams his hand down on the
Because
ground.
you-
Stop!
We need to. Yeah, I'm casting Symmetry.
No.
Kepesk, calm down,
No.
please.
I'm casting
You're
Symmetry.
getting a little close to the fire there.
And it's not. And it's.
That fire it's hot. You're gonna burn yourself. You be careful.
And it's not like this isn't out of bad wit, but considering we're all idiots,
My mother died of the plague. I lied. I said a dragon.
I mean,
From a certain point of view. I always thought that was a good backstory to feed people. Something for them to listen to, feel bad about. But I was just a normal kid who lost his mom. Nothing any of us could have done. We were all poor. My dad was a blacksmith. After that, he was a drunk. It happens. It's happened to 1,000 families before mine, and will continue to happen for thousands of years in the future. But what can any of us do? Bless you.
thank you.
I tried.
Well, thank you for telling us the truth.
It's not done. You're really stepping on some toes right now. All right, just slow your roll.
Listen.
He's giving his
No,
backstory.
no.
When I was 13, she passed. Me, some siblings, you know,
How many
some siblings.
guys, girls?
37.
Yes.
Oh.
The number I roll is the number of siblings Argan has. 16.
closer to 2.
I rolled like a D60 and just like nat 60.
I was the middle child, you know. Always kind of looking for attention, but eventually I started looking for other things, namely coin purses. One particular day I picked the wrong one. Turns out that guy had a pretty fat coin purse. And a money bag too. Sorry. Argon does not say that. I'm sorry. Like, everything within me tells me that's a bad idea, but I had to do it just once. Okay.
He backhanded me and screamed.
Stop. The origin story.
Alright.
Argon is secretly the street urchin from
He's the street urchin. Oh my god.
We're secretly still in Elendor.
Last campaign reference is A.
E.
Anyway. Turns out that guy was part of a clan, a guild of criminals. They called themselves the Scarlet Palm. Somewhat organized thieves guild of cutthroats and cut purses and various other things with the word cut in them, because that's what they did a lot. They were good at they were pretty bad people generally.
Man, they should see
Criminals.
counseling. For all that
Essential.
cutting they're doing. I'm sorry.
I'm sure plenty of those too. One way or another, he gave me a choice. I could either die as street urchin or live as one of his many thieves he had under his employ.
I mean, I'd take the thief option.
Thanks. I should have let him kill me. Anyway. One way or another, many those wolves are getting real close.
It's fine.
And nobody wants to take watch.
He's got the
Kepesk,
crossbow.
Alright.
you should.
Yeah, leave. Well, actually, don't go out of the general range of the firelight. It's probably...
I'm staying in the same spot, but it's
Just
kind of
too
like
shallow.
rotate myself 90 degrees. My head just
Yeah, like one of the radar things
Yeah.
on a, like a
on
ship.
a ship.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh man.
I'm just actually making that sound.
Serious chat's going
We don't
great.
understand.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What? Sonar hasn't even been invented yet. Anyway.
Everyone gets a nosebleed.
Anyway.
Wait a minute. Pause on the game. No, not the actual recording.
Okay,
But
alright.
like,
Yes.
what if that's a great way to stop metagaming? Is because every time you metagame, your character in real life takes psychic takes psychic damage, so they start bleeding, and then like they'll have a whole brain hemorrhage if you.
You take 2 points. Just kidding. You do not. That doesn't happen.
When you
That's an interesting
metagame,
idea.
So it's like,
I eat Argon. I gain back 6 points.
dead family, thieves. Yes, continue. I didn't see that.
I think we
Jesus.
Yeah, it wasn't in voice, I could tell,
hard.
but I wanted to respond in
Okay,
character.
okay.
But anyway, about several years of cutting purses and climbing into second-story windows to steal people's jewelry that didn't belong to me. Obviously, it was their jewelry. Makes sense. Simple logic. But, you know, just went as all things go. One day it went awry. Was holding up a coach. Didn't know that the guy inside was a wizard. He was. Long and short of it was I got banished to another plane of existence, best I can tell. It was not hell, but probably on equal footing. Maybe worse. I was there, alone, empty.
One guy with the battle axe hitting the wall repeatedly open.
Empty rolling fields, actually. Just endless. The grass was tall as wheat.
Sorry to interrupt you. Would Simon know anything about this?
Make an Arcana check.
22.
22. If I could have Kepesk and Orion leave the room temporarily.
Oh,
Can I get my bag?
Yeah, go ahead. Actually, good timing.
Oh god. Levi, you have to come with me.
they just both have their ears
Yeah.
to the door.
All right.
Sorry to complicate things.
Oh no. This is
Oh no.
this has been needing to happen. Hi, Kitty.
Okay.
Hello. All right. Let me pull up the
We still recording?
We are still recording.
Cool.
Let me pull up the wiki so I make sure that I get it right. Actually, no. I'll read it straight out of the book.
Oh, here comes Kitty.
Oh, hello, Kitty.
Hello.
Feral cats in a general region not unheard of.
I
All right.
tried Pumbaa.
Planes of existence. Where they be?
She's laying on paper.
Oh, sweet. Thanks, Kitty. Alright. Let me pause for just a second, because I can't remember where in the DM's guide this is. Okay. You have, in fact, in your time studying with Delmuth, you have heard of several of the inner planes, some of the outer planes. One outer plane in particular you do remember, as he's going to continue telling the story. You do remember Isgard, Y-S-Gard, G-A-R-D, is, a similar to the description that he is about to give. You'd be like remembering this as he's telling it.
Okay.
But I'm just going to tell you a little bit about this now. Basically, a lot of things live here. There's some, it's a little bit Earth-like, but everything is just kind of on a bigger scale where, there are just endless plains and mountains with caverns, etc., etc. And on Isgard, any creature that is killed, they're dead for the day, and then they come back, and they just kind of heal, and they basically nothing can die on Isgard. So everything there's a lot of extremely hostile beings. A lot of them fight each other. Some beings from like alternate dimensions and civilizations will come there and just fight just for fun, just because they can. So they'll fight and they'll die, and they'll do that for a little while, and sometimes they'll leave and sometimes they won't, and sometimes they can't. So on this particular plane, death is a temporary setback. That's pretty much what you recall of this general area. It's one of the chaotic aligned planes, and that's pretty much about all you remember from your studies. And they're gone, so I can't call them back into the room. So we'll just have to pause till they come back.
Alright, I'll pick with them.
All right. All right, we're going. Yeah. All right. Simon, as you recall this information, Argon continues to.
Simon is Argon's father.
Yes.
Argon continues to relate this story. Anyway, when I was 13, my mother died. When I was 14, I joined the Scarlet Palm. And when I was 17, I was banished to said plane of existence. It seemed fine at first. I thought I was in heaven. I thought I had died. There was some sort of mistake. I was sent somewhere nice, but no, I wasn't. It wasn't long before I was hunted and killed, and I died. And then I woke up. same place I had died. Blood on the ground wasn't there. Wounds gone. The only thing that remained was the scars. This went on for years. 4, about. As he kind of leans forward into closer to the fire, with the light the way it is right now shining across his face, you can see that every inch of his skin is completely covered in microscars that are barely detectable. They're so small and pale that you can hardly even see them. But given the closeness that you guys are currently sharing and the current firelight that's sort of illuminating this figure, you are able to see these scars there across his hands, across his face. You see ones that run down the entirety of his face. You see ones that, cut across his jaw. I remember far too many of them. I know that this one was from... Bless you. It's okay.
Try not to be loud.
No, it's fine. This one was from a bugbear. Caved my skull in with his axe. That was a nice day.
So it was normal creatures?
This was where, I think it was a Dracolich, sliced my neck open. Dragon, but dead.
No, I know what it is.
It sucks. I would not recommend. Worse ways. Slower ways. For years. But I wasn't alone. Amazingly, after about a year and a half, I met a friend. Somebody else. Some kid. Bald. Tribal tattoos. Some sort of cult. I think he was a sorcerer. Just wild magic that happened to be brought up within him. Cult of... what was it? Victor or something. Anyway, not important. He was a good friend. And we, for the most part, kept each other alive best we could. We avoided it for the most part, but it still happened. We would still get separated, get killed, find our way back to each other, etc. Then the cycle would repeat. We spent every waking hour of every day that we weren't already dead, trying to find a way out. Eventually, we did. He couldn't do it. He insisted on staying behind. He forced me through. It should have been me, but here I am, and there he is. I hope to get him back someday, but I owe him my life and my many, many deaths. But if there's something that got me, it was experience. I've seen most monsters under the sun, killed and been killed by them. But dragons are a particular favorite of mine. Let's say we have a history. That's not important. I got out. Didn't know what to do with myself. Celebrated, which didn't feel right. Here I am, trying to figure out what to do with myself. Figure, what's my purpose? Why live in this world if it doesn't make a difference? And I think I need to figure that out. So anyway, what about you?
Kepesk pretends to have heard nothing as he is turned around, crying
Just, like,
silently
crying,
to
like-
himself.
I see. Boop. Boop. Alright.
Thank you for telling us the truth. I know that must have been painful to recount.
My
I
name,
thought you were gonna say just that must have been.
Eric. Just kidding.
Aragon.
Pull the fast one in you. Bruce. No. It's too... I'm sorry. It's just kind of natural at this point. I was in a Thieves Guild. You pick these things up.
Is Bruce Wayne?
No.
Bruce Banner.
He gets a nosebleed. Why does this keep happening? This is so weird. What are you guys doing to me? Well,
Go on. Your name.
oh, I could just
You
leave you
said-
there.
you said this
It'd be,
much.
Come on.
it'd be a pretty good cliffhanger.
Everyone sounds
But we're at the 35-minute mark. Like it's the perfect time to leave it on a cliffhanger. The audience will be gasping for more. He does not say this.
His brain is like falling out. Like,
It's like slowly like
yeah.
just collapsing inwards.
God.
The world is beginning to unrender behind him.
Dun.
You too, folks.
Oy vey.
Your name.
Axeliel Munford Morrison.
How do you spell that? No, I'm just kidding. That's a. Why would you? That's an awesome name. Literally, like.
It is a pretty
But-
cool name.
It's dangerous. Oh, I forgot to properly establish the dynamic of the approximate height ratio going on here.
Oh.
He's pretty short.
Sorry. Axeliel.
A-K-S-L-I-L.
Okay.
Let me axe you something.
I mean, sorry, axe, like the object, and then L-E-E-L, so I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Yeah,
'cause
that's-
that is how Kepesk
That's
spelled
close
it.
enough. But that's the long and short of it. Anyway. So what about you, huh?
I'm
Any
here.
particular reason you seem to worship the sun? Why do you praise the sun?
Figure out how to word this.
'Cause
It is, it's hot. It is something that we don't give enough credit. In my life in particular.
These wolves. It's a real problem.
You're good. That kind of hurt.
It is really the only thing that I have come to depend on. I have found that people, despite the best efforts that you can give them, despite any kindness you can render in your heart, will leave you. Despite everything, because most people's needs comes before themselves. And
I have to agree with you there. The sun does seem to be the only constant in the universe.
it is something that I've found that despite pulling away every night, it's still there. Or else, wait, would I know that the light gives reflection on
What?
the moon? Would would Orion
It's
know?
around Earth.
It's
Is that a thing?
it's not exactly a heliocentric type
Oh, okay.
model.
Okay.
Damn, I've never considered is there a moon?
Oh.
All right, we're
I
on
mean, it would be
the
violently
planet of
dark
Toril.
at night.
It's pretty reasonable that there's a moon, at
Uh-huh.
least one moon,
Okay.
and it is also reasonable. I mean, people who they're organic apples. Those are like top quality
That's the
apples.
best apple I've ever had.
I don't want
I'm
to.
It's
sorry.
it's a good apple. It's a good apple.
Organic apples.
It's really convenient that we happened to come across that little bushel back there. It's pretty nice.
Good.
You ever try a toasted apple? Those are good. You should try that.
Sticks one on the thing, so it's like.
All right.
You
You begin toasting an apple.
juice?
No.
I mean, just.
Does Kepesk say that?
No, God, no. He'd be more like hungry than anything.
My mom used to.
You ever try bone juice?
Bonesaw is hungry.
Anyway, I'm gonna move back up in my chair because, yeah. Oh yeah, I should have explained that. I'm in an office chair and I just click the thing to sink down lower to express that I'm short, or that
You're
axial
I'm
is short.
so used to saying argan.
Yeah, do you know how hard it's been to not be like axial does this? No, wait, he doesn't.
Does he still want us to refer to him as Argon?
No, God,
Oh.
it's a fake name. I thought of it on the spot.
Can I just call you Axe?
That sounds pretty.
It's pretty
cool.
dope.
I can forgive that. Anyway, the sun.
As I have said before, it is the one constant in my life that is always there. Every morning when you come up, it's there, greeting you with a smile on its face. That doesn't exist.
It does have a deity, doesn't it?
Yes.
As your keen mind recalls the kind words of Pelor.
Yeah, I don't know why you remember that.
I blanked.
Jesus!
I blanked on a bunch of things too.
I was like, yeah, it's he.
What if you'd forgotten excellence? My name is.
I forgot what name he provided to the Adventurers Guild for a minute. What was it?
Turrak. Arby's.
Arby's.
Rorikstead.
I think it was like It was like Arabic. Arabic. Arabic is what he said. Anyway, he doesn't remember that.
Yes, they do have a name, which they prefer to go by Paylor. I don't begin to comprehend what they can do and what impact they have on this life. But I know that I will do my best to pay forward what they have done to me. Just kidding. No, it's like, oh.
So can you just like do the light thing, or is that like you're given that? Because that's cool. Can I do that?
You can multi-class into a cleric.
Double nosebleed.
You can work for it. It has taken me a very long time to come to the point that I am now. But I do believe that you are a man with a good heart and a good soul.
Sorry, go on. Pretend I didn't say anything.
Debatable at best.
Essentially.
It is very clear that your god has blessed you. You're a very talented cleric.
I would like to think so. I have found many struggles in my life and do not believe myself to be anything worthy of what I've been given. Okay. I have to pause because I'm not that great. I don't know the whole religion.
Yeah.
But because I know forgiveness is like a big thing in most religions, but would that be a big thing in Paylor's religion? Like you have to just like forgive
I mean, like,
past things?
fairly. It'd be
Like don't hold on to anger?
just don't be a twat.
Don't be a
He's
twat.
like the Jesus of the D&D world in
A-
a way.
He's
A
like
little bit.
chill.
He's
like, hey.
he's a very central one.
Okay.
He's one of the big ones.
The big
The thick voice.
Just kind of, chooses beings to represent him in the mortal world, usually
Okay.
clerics or paladins, etc.
I haven't been able to fully let go of things that have happened in my life, no matter how hard I try. I can't forget what people have done or what people will do. It is just something that I've been working on and hasn't gotten me anywhere. No matter what I do, I can't bring myself to do it.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but the most pleasant thing is happening. Your cat is laying down and she's like fluffing her tail
Oh,
against my foot,
I
and
see.
it's so soft.
It's pretty special.
It's so
Good girl.
So good.
Well,
Sorry.
you come from the high forest, right?
Indeed.
I don't know much about centaurs, admittedly. I'm kind of ashamed I should know.
Cervitaur.
Cervitaurs, I'm sorry. Did you have a family or a group that you come from?
I had to be made somehow. Well, I guess.
Give it a side eye. It was kind of creepy.
No. That was
No, I
supposed
don't
to be
say that in
sarcastic.
character. No, it's good.
I
It's
did.
just like, we bang, okay?
Oh no.
Ooh. My mother was a unit. No.
Oh no.
They were split, so to say, about certain aspects of personality or being, and their solution to that was to let me figure it out, to put it nicely. Let's just say that I haven't seen them in a very long time, and don't plan on seeing them.
That's fair.
It's not that fair.
But you're really called Orion, though, right? That's real.
Yes.
Okay.
Orion Helium Morton.
I dig the hat, though. That's cool.
It's there.
Can I borrow that? Can you make yourself team taller?
Ironically, no.
Yes.
You
Give
can't.
it a shot.
I thought you
Just
said.
can't do it.
Yeah. He tries it out.
Ooh, it's gonna be weird.
He turns into exactly his normal self, except about 1.5 feet taller. It's exactly the same, except he's just... Well, I look different. I
Oh.
kind of see the same. Well, that's vaguely disappointing, but this is kind of cool. Anyway, he takes it off and he just kind of shrinks again. He's like, oh. What about you, big lizard boy?
Damn it.
What are you looking for?
I need your phone.
Hey.
Why do you need my phone?
I need to
Is
look
this
something up.
related?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
entirely related.
Do you need help?
3%.
Do we need to pause?
I'm just looking up a name.
Forgetting stuff. Jeez.
I.
No,
Come up
I'm
with the name, yeah.
fucking with you. It's okay.
I think I know what you're talking about.
No, you don't.
Oh, okay.
No, you don't. Shut up. Kitty, I'm playing with my jacket.
I really appreciate all the themed stuff on the table and everything's all rustic and nice, and there's just that tiny Iron Man cup with
It's pretty great.
Dude, my mom doesn't get rid of dishes like ever. We still have my sippy cups. Like,
Cool.
they're not in the cabinet, they're in storage.
We still
my
have
sippy cups.
the juice glasses from when I was 3.
Really?
Yeah, the little ones. We still use those. We use them for paint cups more than anything, and we still drink out of them.
I do that. You gotta rinse them really bad, like, intense.
Yeah. But the problem is we rinse them really bad.
Oh,
and-
like poorly.
Yes. It's pretty sad.
We move so much. I think the oldest thing I have is just my baby blanket.
Aw.
Let's go ahead and pause for a second.
Okay.
Oh,
Actually,
no, that's
I
on
just got it.
You just got it? Okay.
Yeah.
And you, what about you, big lizard man? Thick boy.
So as I like turn back around,
It's okay. Don't cry. You can let it out.
I was the son of the village chief. And I don't know what you know about lizard folk. We eat humans alive. It's like kind of a delicacy.
Oh.
I just kind of want to like position myself.
We all scoot away.
We just immediately run.
I don't like it. I never did. Damn it. Shut up. And I never partook. And eve of a massive feast. We captured a caravan of humans, and one in particular named Agatha. It's an old draconic word for wise. She spoke to me as I was wandering near their cage, and long story short, we fell in love.
Oh.
I broke her out of the cage and freed the entire caravan. There was about 8 humans. And
Go on.
as the last one, a young boy was exiting the cage, he tripped and fell into a pile of leaves. Everyone heard, everyone looked, and we all ran. I got separated, and I essentially banished myself from my tribe, as I know if I ever were to return, they would kill me. And I've been wandering ever since.
Where's Agatha? Question mark.
I don't know.
Oh, so y'all like scattered.
You're brave, Kepesk. You're a very noble man. Wizard.
And what about you then, tiny child?
Fake.
You don't get to skip out. Spill it, kid.
I'm just... I knew this was coming.
You initiated this whole thing.
No.
So, just Simon. Simon the Just.
Simon Bale's bar.
Bills at bars, and you're right.
I'm going with Simon the Just. It's cool.
It's better just Simon, please. I don't like hearing my last name. God. My name is Simon, as you all know. And I'm from Long Saddle. Not a big secret.
Hi, Simon.
I was thinking about it.
It's a small town up north. I don't know if you've heard of it. Has you heard of it?
You probably haven't heard of it.
You know, it's just a little ranch town. Some wizards there. You know, I'm of the common cloth. My parents were poor to some degree. Around, what was it? Was I 6? Probably. I started an apprenticeship with this wonderful man. His name's Dalmas Fablim. Means the world to me. My hero, really. But, I studied under him, at the behest of my mother. But, you know, he taught me his ways. I feel that I've become a decent wizard. But about a year ago, he fell ill. And, you know, he collapsed one day during one of our lessons, and I got the doctor, and he wasn't sure. I'm sorry, it's all a mess in my head. We spoke with clerics, we spoke with doctors, we tried and tried, and he's only been getting worse, and it can only be assumed that it's not an illness, but a curse.
That rhymed. I'm sorry. It rhymed.
I'm multi-class new bard.
But I want with all of my heart to help him. And all I can do is become the best wizard I can and find a way to free him of whatever was laid upon him and find whoever did it. I know that I'm just a kid and I'm worth nothing to most of this world, but I just want to help the person that helped me most, you know?
Not as Ryan saying this, but like, oh, he still has hope. In society, not the fact that okay, continue.
But I have to be honest, and I know that you aren't the sorts to do what I know others would, but to be honest with you, and he pulls back his cloak, I am a half-elf. And I know you two aren't of societal...
I'm sorry, I didn't do that again. I just noticed that.
I know that you two don't know much. Sorry, Axe.
It's to be expected. It's fair.
You two may not know much, but we half-elves are sort of the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
And my whole life, I've kept it down, and I know my life hasn't been very long, but I just want to be on equal footing with everyone else. And we're such a ragtag group. I know that you won't treat me any different.
I was just gonna say.
Good call.
That was the best review.
Yeah, actually a
I
really
just,
good review. Out of character.
Shit myself
Really
when I
good.
noticed those ears.
I've been hiding these ears for months! Months! Ah!
Bayli got actual prosthetic implants. Actual plastic
Guys,
surgery.
This wasn't scripted. She really
I've been wearing
extended
ear
her
muffs for 6 months! No.
Well, I respect your transparency. I'm sure discrimination is bad. I do know. I mean, in certain circles, they would call you things.
I mean, half-elf, Cervitaur, short
A
guy.
dipshit.
What? Alright, that was uncalled for. Alright. I'll
Wait,
let
what
it
did you-
slide.
Short person.
But, alright.
I mean,
the
I called you a dipshit, so I mean, that's okay.
It is the most ragtag group, I don't think. It's, I have
Yeah.
a deer ass.
I mean, it's almost...
I mean, we've got pretty normal asses, save you, but
It's true.
I don't know.
I mean...
I'm the only...
The only thing I could think of that would be weirder is a dragonborn tiefling. A wood elf. A really, really old normal elf, and a human.
And then just a dude. Well, I suppose there's always the one token human of every group.
Have you been covering up your
it's-
ears for the past, like, however long?
Are you asking this out of character?
No,
Or-
I'm actually asking.
Oh.
In character and out of character,
Why do you
yes
think,
and no.
Why do you think I wear my hat?
Because you're a kid and you like...
I do love my hat, but it
It's a cool
I do
hat,
love
to be
my
fair.
hat.
It's pretty great.
down with games. But yeah, I mean,
Ask a question out of character.
yeah.
Like, what would distinguish a half-elf from a normal, like a
From an
full
actual
elf?
person.
Well, it's they have a sort of elven like. Well, actually, go ahead and make a history check.
I can tell you about this if you want, or the DM can too. I don't care.
Well, based on what you would know.
Wait, do I make one too?
You're
Eight-
no. you haven't met a lot of elves and half
I
elves.
rolled a 19.
18?
Kepesk is like, ooh, his ears are pointy.
Yeah. Just with your experience, you wouldn't have really
Yeah.
encountered anywhere it would like
All
have been
things
close enough to
considered,
notice.
yeah.
All humans look the same.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. The half elves retain the elvish qualities of like the feature, like the jawline, and they have the pointed ears, but they aren't quite as like pointy or tall, and do obviously just face discrimination. As generally what happens in most cases is whatever race is invading the other and took spoils of war.
That's not the case with my parents.
Generally, that's the way things go.
Yeah.
But yes,
That's just real.
yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Holy shit.
Oof.
That's pretty rough.
Why do you think people hate us so much?
You know, all things considered, it's really not so bad for me. You know, I didn't always sound this cool. Actually, I had a pretty high-pitched voice, but I suspect that scarification of the vocal cords does have an effect, as now it sounds like I
all the time.
smoke like 20 Newports a day.
Just into the stoma that we
Just
just know
pulls out
he
a
has.
jewel.
Oh
He's
my
just
gosh.
been leaving a trail of jewel pods behind us.
Let's be real. If Axelil was real, he would definitely hit that jewel.
Dude, he'd hit the chug jug every.
Oh,
He'd have
alright.
like one of those rainbow vapes.
No,
Like
no,
the
he-
light up ones.
no. That's too expensive. He would just have a
Yeah.
jewel. It would just be a jewel.
With like the bad pods. Like,
Like where
cucumber.
you vape on it and it's a bad coil, so it just kind of ruins your throat.
Kepesk would be one of those people that's like smokes the cheapest cigarette he can find.
Kepesk would eat the
But-
cigarette.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he'd
you're
be the
just
one
wrong.
eating it. He's one of those people.
You
that's
would
like
get chewing
really,
tobacco and then eat the chewing tobacco.
He assumes that consuming it makes him calmer because someone told him that one time, so he
Naturally.
thought like eating it was what you were supposed to do.
Anyway,
Levi, no, I'm sorry. Out of character, I need to finally ask you this. Did you know?
No, literally
I had no
not.
idea.
I just noticed
At
that
my
just
in my
now.
portfolio review at Ringling, I turned the page to my image of Simon, ears out and everything, where he's crying in the rain. And I go, "This is my character Simon," and I see you looking, and my heart like dropped
Wait,
because
really?
I thought you would notice the ears. No,
Wait,
I'm
I
sorry,
never
that's scab,
actually.
that's scab.
I never
Oh,
actually
X-Scab?
realized that. Like I know the picture you're talking about, but I never. I just.
I
couldn't-
haven't noticed the ears either. Also,
I thought
at the one at
you knew.
SCAD, I was walking around looking at all the other stuff. I like glanced over
Oh.
at your
It's
stuff.
I
weren't
did
even
it when I
paying
showed my
attention.
grandparents too. You
Huh.
saw the image like 4 times.
Dude, I'm sure I've seen like the one like the pixel one. No,
No.
not the sorry.
It doesn't matter.
I know
Just-
which one you mean.
In one way
I
or
could
another.
have fucked it up.
I've
but I didn't.
seen that
Yeah.
image a million times and never noticed the ears.
Look at the ears; they're cool.
Yeah, it's dope. How did?
I purchase things with money
Okay,
occasionally.
I
They were
wasn't
like
sure if.
$4.
Oh,
They're really cool. Sorry, this is on recording. Do you want to
Yeah.
see them? They're really cool.
Yeah,
You can
there's-
try 'em on.
Yeah, we have prosthetic ears because we're extra like that.
Yo, I'll totally.
It will not translate to on recording, but oh well. Who
Your
cares?
ears
What
are
are
too
you doing?
big.
What are
Oh,
you
that's
doing?
great.
No, it's my hair.
Yeah, we ordered. You have tiny ears. To
I
be
do,
fair,
I'm sorry.
we ordered. We
You put it on backwards.
you put it on backwards.
It's
you put it on
also
the
my
wrong
skin
ear.
tone.
Anyway,
Just give it back. Give me
Anyway.
my ear. Give me my ear back, Kepesk.
No.
Thought you didn't like eating humanoids.
back to the game. Well, one way or another, here we are, sitting around here, around a campfire, like a bunch of idiots, and we still don't have a name for ourselves. Well,
Little
good night.
rascals.
And he rolls over.
The mystery man.
He's just lying on his side, completely unresponsive.
I want to like forcefully roll him over, even if he's asleep. Just
He's not. He's just like, why? You're just kind of rolling.
I
Please.
want an
part of the
animation.
family unit.
Yeah. He's just kind of being awkward. He's like, roll over. Like, stop.
No,
Then you take first watch.
fine. If you be part of the family unit and stop being an angsty old man.
I'm
Middle aged.
22.
Oh, okay.
The hair. That just sort of happened. Stress, I guess, does things.
I've heard the gay will do that.
I have not.
Sorry.
Anyway. Yes, can affect things. Hair, apparently, being one of them. Used
Is
to be
his
black.
eyebrows
It was
white?
great. I blended in with the dark. It was perfect.
Are his eyebrows white?
Yeah.
Your leg hair's white? That's Orion asking him.
No,
Oh?
last I checked. But I'm not about to, because I don't want to give you the satisfaction.
Oh.
Well, Great. I'll take
Team
first
name.
watch.
No. Oh.
He blasts off into the darkness,
Cartoonishly, a cloud of smoke behind
pulling down his red goggles over him as he vanishes into the darkness.
Never
And
gonna
with that, what are we calling this one?
Group therapy.
Yes.
Pretty
Or like
good.
Alcoholics Anonymous.
I like group therapy.
There was something that happened earlier. It was like, shoot, I can't remember what it was. There's always like the one thing that you're like, oh, that'd be a perfect name, and then you just forget it at
Last
the end.
episode's name should have been
Who said
You're
it?
Lucky I'm a Man of God.
Oh,
You're
I
totally right.
internalized that one and then I forgot. What? Who said what you are remembering?
I think I might have, or you did.
What
It was
about?
you or me. I can't remember. It was something about like, anyway, back to this, or something like that. I can't remember what it was. One way or another, group therapy is fairly accurate. All right. Well, thank you for joining us on this extremely heavy episode. We're
Just
gonna
realize
go
I can't-
get some beers. Just kidding. We're
Chris
underage.
Can't transfer to audio.
Yeah, we can't peace. All right. There's a lot of implied like.
Edit
you
a
know.
peace sign on the screen right now.
All right.
Yeah, yeet.
Stop making work for me to edit.
And then
It's too
fireworks
much.
exploding as a person is
And a
dead.
pineapple with sunglasses.
Every
And then you
time.
crying
Yes.
and not.
All right, we're ending the episode now. Goodbye.